Knowing what to read, what to prepare, where to look, the things to think about, and what not to think about can just be a lot leading up to an interview. And you might end up having an information overload to the point where when you're asked questions, you just have a blank mind. Now, if you have an interview coming up, or if you are that person who always struggles with what to prepare before an interview, then this video is for you. As always, I've put in timestamps, so if there's something in particular you want to watch, skip along to that part, but I would appreciate it if you watch the whole video. Now let's get right into it. Today I have come up with a 3-part framework as to what to actually read when preparing for an interview. I know there's a lot that you might want to read and you might think is important, but at the end of the day, you might never be asked those questions and it might prove to be just another load on your brain that was unnecessary. Now, with this 3-part framework that I came up with, you will cover all the necessary things that are needed for your interview, and this will ensure that you don't have information overload. 1. 2, it will ensure that you have the absolute necessary things, and it will also give your mind rest, and you need the rest. It will also give your body rest because you don't have to stay up all night cramming up for an interview. The first part of this 3-part framework is knowing and understanding the company. Let's face it, you are there for the company, so they are obviously going to ask you about the company. In my example, I think the first question, well, I believe it was just to ease into the interview, but it was the first question in my interview was, how many customers or how many clients does the company serve? Well, it's something that you might look at and just be like, would they ever ask about this? But well, they asked me. So who knows, they might ask you as well. Now, I'm not saying go to that company website and read through every fluff and fuff. No, don't. You need to just know what is important in that company and understand why it is important. I will tell you, look at their values, look at their mission statement, look at their projections for the coming years, and also look at what the company has done in the previous years. I would say stretch back to like 5 years and stretch forward to another 5 years. So know their projections for the next 5 years and also know their past 5 years. Because honestly, outside of that range, I don't think they would really ask you anything, and chances are high it won't be on their website. So this can be aligned to your particular job. Well, if you're an engineer, know the projects that they are going to be taking on for the next 5 years. If you're an accountant, know the companies that they are going to be working with for the next 5 years, or those that they've worked with in the previous 5 years. Now, this will give you a picture as to what the company really does, what they will probably require from you, and it will make you understand their work ethic as well, because it's one thing to know a company and another totally different thing to actually understand it. When it comes to understanding the company, I feel it's more about how what they do aligns with you as a professional and also aligns with what they say, because a company could say we value customer service, but their reviews are all full of customers complaining about their service. So that's another thing. And as a person going to an interview, having read through those reviews, it could also be a talking point when it comes to you facing your panel. The second thing that is important when preparing for your interview is knowing and understanding the position that you're applying for. Well, you're an accountant, you're a banker, you're an engineer, you are a technologist, you are whatever job you're applying for. You know what you do. You know what an engineer is. You know what you used to do in your previous role. But is it the same thing that you're going to be doing in this new position? Is it the same thing that they will require from you in this new position? Don't take your past glory and bring it to the new job. It's not going to work, because what they probably require from you is different from what you used to do. So you can't go on blowing your own trumpet about things you did in the past that don't align with this current job. Now, the best way to know and understand the position is to go to your job advert, the one that you used to apply. Yes, that one. Go to that job advert, read through it again, read through it a second time, read through it a third time. Now, the third time, be sure to underline all those key skills, all those personal traits and qualities that they want in an individual or in the right candidate that they are hoping to hire, because those are the points that they're going to hammer on when it comes to questions in the interview. If one of the things that they want in their ideal candidate is maybe a good communicator, as they have, clients that they are going to need you to communicate with, then based off of your previous job and your previous experience, highlight how you were able to interface with customers in a way that is both productive and also serves the company. If now you come and then you go about talking about how you were a team player and you did A, B, C, D, and then nowhere in the job ad asks you to be a team player. In actual fact, maybe they want you to be a team leader. Well, obviously you always be a team player, but it might not be the strongest suit that they are looking for in a candidate, and you go on hammering on that becomes a problem. Or you prepare mainly for that particular attributes, then it becomes a problem because you won't know how to answer certain questions that they are going to bring to you. And then the next thing that you would need to highlight and need to take note of when you're knowing and understanding your position, if at any given point you are unable to, highlight all those key skills, you can go to ChatGPT and then copy your job ad or the part where they have the key responsibilities and ideal candidate place. Insert that into ChatGPT and ask it to then highlight at least 5 to 10 key skills that are listed in that job ad. And then ChatGPT will give it to you. And then you learn or you hammer on points that highlight those key skills that are in the job ad. This way, whenever they come at you with any question relating to what is in the job ad, you'll be ready for it. And that way you don't go about reading random things blindly, thereby having information overload of things that are not important or things that are not going to be asked in your interview. The third thing in this 3-part framework that I believe is important when it comes to nailing your interview and not having information overload on the days leading up to your interview is knowing and understanding your accomplishments. Now, I know it's so difficult for people to speak about themselves, especially when it comes to their accomplishments, or maybe people actually like speaking about themselves. Yeah, but there's a way in which you can do it that can come off as arrogant or bragging. And then there's a way that you can do it that also just highlights how much of a great asset you can be if you are hired in this company. So the latter is what we need you to nail. We need you to be able to communicate your accomplishments in a way that lets these people know you are the person for the job. Let them know everything they need to know about you before you leave that interview room. Because once you leave and you're gone, it's done. And it's so sad to then just stand up and think, oh my God, I should have spoken about this. And it's too late. So ensure that you know your accomplishments, each and every one of them, especially the ones that you highlighted in your CV. Because it would be such a shame if you were ever asked anything that is in your CV and you can't respond to it. So read your CV and study it. And also know what you said and what you highlighted as your accomplishments. Let them know that. Even those things that you didn't say in your CV, let them know your accomplishments. If you've engineered something, if you've made headway with a certain technology, if you've come up with a new code, or if you've come up with a new gadget, let them know things like that, because those are the things that they need to know for them to be able to decide if you're an ideal candidate for them. Because honestly, if you can come up with a code that makes things easier for a company, you're an asset, and they need to know that. They need to know you can do it for their company. Otherwise, how are you any different from anyone else who holds a software engineering degree? So now what I'm saying is, I know you can't go about tooting your own horn when it comes to an interview, because you don't want to seem a bad person or come off as a person who brags or is arrogant. But learn and know how to communicate your accomplishments in a way that will even give you leverage when it comes to salary negotiations. Because with all your accomplishments, trust me, you can then just tell them, you know what, I can code, I can do ABCD, I can make this process easier or even shorter, thereby saving time and resources. You need me. It screams, they need you, because you have all these qualities and all these accomplishments, all these things that you can do. Let them know you can do those things. So now that I've given you all that, don't go about staying up late and troubling your mind, your body, and your spirit when it comes to preparing for an interview. Because honestly, if you know and understand the company, you know and understand your position, you also know and understand your accomplishments, and you know how to communicate all those three things, then you have nothing else that you need to study when it comes to preparing for an interview. And you also have no reason to fail your interview once you know all those three things. Because if there's anything else that they ask outside of that, honestly, I don't know, because those are the main things or the only things that they would obviously ask you when it comes to an interview. Now, if you've watched all the way to this point, then kudos to you. You did well, and trust me, you're going to nail that interview. Now, thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.